This Three Beards Media podcast may contain mature themes, and if you're not down with that, we got 3 words for you. Like the podcast. Nailed it!
Would you like to sample some of my nuts?
Hello and good evening, and welcome to another edition of Old Man Strength, a podcast of Three Beards Media brought to you by Revelton Distilling Company. I am Tim Johnson, joined as always by Chris Shipley. Chris, how are we doing this evening?
We're doing well. I'd be even better if I could have found some Ames Lager today. I hit 2 stores, couldn't find it. It looks to be sold out in central Iowa somewhere. So
yeah, I noticed that. I noticed that on the Twitters that like it was selling up very quickly. Like West O is gonna have to get on top of things. That's selling out like hotcakes. I'm very jealous that I didn't get on something like that. That's pretty incredible.
I'll get you a hookup. Instead, I'm not that it's second place, but I'm having a legend from First Down Brewery, which benefits Trice Legacy Foundation and our buddy George Trice from Side of the Storm. So it's pretty good. Red corn ale. I'm not normally a red corn ale guy, but it's pretty good. So
known for all of the other red corn ales you've probably had over your lifetime.
No. Didn't even know it was such a thing.
No, that's awesome. I think that's pretty fantastic. Not to be like stereotypical old guy, but holy shit, it has been warm.
Dude, it's fucking ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. They had to cancel school in the afternoons around here because the bus drivers and the buses were so hot that it was terrible.
Oh, that's
terrible.
right.
And then
you guys are back to school already, aren't you? We're in Minnesota.
Yeah, yesterday was the first day.
Okay, gotcha.
Yesterday was the first day, and they already shortened school. And apparently, Ames lost power because there's a fire. So now Ames and Iowa State University is not having class tomorrow because they can't cool the buildings. It's a shit show.
Yikes!
So,
well,
and you can't find any cold beer. That's the problem. So.
No, I hear you. It's been miserable. My biggest gripe is that so many people, especially up here in Minnesota, people are like, "Oh, you complain that it's hot now, but wait until January when it's -10." And I'm like, then I'll also complain. I can complain about both temperatures. Like, I don't have to be like, "Oh no. I can deal with the hot because I'm worried about the cold." No, I just want something. That's the reason why so many people move to like San Diego, because they don't have to deal with either of those. Like, whatever.
I usually don't argue from like mid-October until the end of November, and then that's usually perfect weather for me.
Well, I'm in Minnesota, so we have winter from October until May, and then we have about 2 days of spring, and then we jump right into 90-degree temperatures, and then that lasts until about August 1st, and then we get like 3 weeks of is it going to be 90 or is it going to snow? And then it vacillates in between them. So yeah, I totally get that. Well, enough of this old man garbage.
Yeah, I appreciate you just really sticking to the brand, but we could probably move on.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, I'm really excited. Our guests are kind of fun because it not only do we get to talk to them because they're great people to talk to, but also because we get to talk a little bit more about how the Three Beards Media network is growing, right? Bringing on some, dare I say, talent. Teddy's over there clapping, and so I'm hesitant to say talent. But we are bringing on.
Hey, we got Skull here. He's talent.
Right. So anyway, Chris, I will go ahead and let you introduce our guest for this evening.
Well, we're super excited to announce our addition to Three Beards Media. One gentleman has already been on a podcast once before and thought, well, they weren't near as bad as I thought, so let's go ahead and just join business with them. And the other guy doesn't know what he's getting into. But previously, they did a podcast called Ball Don't Lie. They were looking for a new home. And Three Beards Media is super honored and excited to bring on Teddy Holly and Justin Smool. Guys, thanks so much for joining Old Man Strength tonight, but also for becoming part of Three Beards.
Go ahead, Small. I mean, we talked about it for a long time, but we are very excited, to say the least. I'll let Small go first, though.
Yeah, no, I'm pumped. I can't wait. I mean, we appreciate you guys letting us come on board, and Ted and I are the texts that we've exchanged on the side. You know, we're more excited to get this thing going.
I mean, Chris was like sending us little here's what it looked like with your preview. It's like getting recruited in high school again. We both played college sports, so it was like, oh man, I was getting recruited. I'm like, he can do this.
Yeah,
I know.
Hey, we gotta go to Three Beards Media now. How can I say no to this? It's like, in a world where you're with Three Beards Media, here comes Ball Don't Lie.
Well, no, I do appreciate you guys sending us your tape of
Right?
right. No, I think that's fantastic. I very excited to have you guys on, bringing in some new talent. Why don't you guys take a second though to tell us what the Ball Don't Lie podcast is all about?
Well, this will be our fourth season to do this, which is a little crazy for us because we kind of started being a little, off record a little bit. Small and I have been friends for a long time. And it goes back to being, we told a story a long time ago when we were at a basketball camp. We didn't know it. I think I was 12 and you were 11.
Yeah.
In Iowa City. And we made the same all-star game from the Iowa Hawkeye, by the way, basketball camp, which isn't pretty cool. But
No.
I went to the Hawkeye basketball camp. I actually won the 2-on-2 tournament because they paired the shortest guy with the tallest guy. Let's be clear. I won because I got paired with the tallest guy.
I mean, hey, this is back when they could still play basketball, by the way. So we're talking about the 90s almost.
Yeah, I know.
Tom Davis era.
Tom Davis was there at the camp, and I always thought like the trophy I got for the 2-on-2 tournament should have just been me passing the ball. There should just be a trophy for like most assists in a 2-on-2 game. Someone, I might have had 20 assists in a game. I don't care. It was 2-on-2, but
That's awesome.
yeah. So anyway.
Yeah. So years later, so me and Small have been buddies for years, and then we didn't realize until I'll let Small tell a story. He's like, were you a Teddy that was on this team? Like, it was weird. I'll let him go from there. But yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, we just kind of remember. I had one I don't know, some rainy day, right? And I thought, gosh, man, I hung out with this guy named Ted all the time at this camp. We were like best buds, and just we did all the competitions and everything together. And then I was like, if you were who you are, the other third guy who we ran with. And he named the name just like that. And I was like, yep, okay.
And that guy was the best basketball handler we've ever seen. He's in jail now, by the way.
Right. Yeah, he was so good. I mean, he's so good for that age. But So anyway, fast forward here. Then, we started the Ball Don't Lie podcast, and it circles around, Ted and I are true degenerates at heart when it comes to college football and the NFL. We can't get enough of it. So
let's be honest. We call college football what? Appetizer.
Yeah, appetizer. Yeah. Real sports played on Sunday.
The NFL is worth it. It is all about the appetizer and then the main course.
Correct.
And then Monday nights get your money back on football. So
right. I mean that's interesting. Growing up in Iowa without professional sports around there, college football was king, right? And then having so much family in Nebraska, college football was king. Like, I didn't become an NFL fan until later in life because so much of my family in Iowa and Nebraska was all centered around college football.
I think that's why me and Small connected. I mean, so we're both from Panora area too. So like we had the golf stuff this too, but
yep.
everybody loved college football so much. Like that's why we make fun of like Sean Roberts. Those guys now too are like, hey, the sup shirt there.
yeah. I thought that's great. And also making fun of
almost wore
Sean
mine.
is making fun of Sean gets you points on this podcast, actually.
Yeah.
So that's
but for us, we're like, hey, we like college football because especially locally. I love it. Like we love Iowa State. We love, Justin Small was the biggest Iowa fan, period, forever. And then about 5 years ago, he has
a little longer.
Moved himself so much until Kirk Ferentz leaves that space. Especially, he's now an Iowa State fan, which is crazy. He was an Iowa fan, which is nuts. Justin Smool is a Kirk Ferentz hater and a Iowa basketball coach. I won't even say his name because I don't want to say because I think he's a clown. He loves him. He loves the Iowa basketball coach.
DJ.
And the football coach. What a weirdo.
I do. I'm a Ferentz hater. The guy's putrid. I've never seen a guy fail up as much as him.
I once got into a Twitter beef with some guy for like half an evening about how mediocre Kirk Ferentz was, and the dude finally dropped, well, he's always been good to me ever since I met him and played for him. And then I went to go look at the dude's name, and it was Scott Chandler, who played tight end for the Bills. I was like, fuck. I should probably just shut up now. I got no reason to be talking shit to this guy.
It could be like McCaffrey. He's like, the best thing he's done is put out his son, who's now dating Caitlin Clark, which is everything ever.
Right.
No, I would say, for all of the hate that Kirk gets, and I'm not saying that some of it isn't warranted. First of all, he's one of the longest tenured coaches in the entire country. Right? Like,
I agree with you, by the way.
Yeah, in this day and age, you don't see that tenure going on. And B, I will admit there are several seasons where he has underperformed, but his underperforming is still pretty damn good, right?
He wants tagged in.
Go ahead, Justin. It's your turn.
I can elaborate on this. He has lived in the weakest division in Power 5 football since existence. Us four could go coach that team and go win 7-8 games a year. That takes zero talent.
I mean, dude, I live up here. I live up here in PJ Fleck land. So
don't get him started. He's a PJ Fleck guy, by the way, too. He was rolling the boat before he got to Minnesota.
Hold on. You're not giving Kirk credit because he's in the Big Ten West.
I needed Tim.
No. You're not giving Kirk credit because he's in the Big Ten West, but you want to row the boat with the biggest ego, terrible douchebag. That guy plays like Western Michigan 12 times a year. It goes 9-3 against the worst. Like my mom could coach that team to 9 wins. We're understand.
We're allowed to let our guests talk. Go ahead, Justin.
I'm not really going to talk about PJ Fleck.
My row the boat days goes back to what I used to be a diehard MAC football fan.
He was.
So Ted will speak on behalf. I love PJ Fleck before he was even thought of to be any sort of Power 5 coach.
Yeah. My one of my good friends, Dan, went to Western Michigan, so he was a big PJ Fleck fan before he came to Minnesota, and I've been a ego hater for that long too.
Yeah, what do you guys expect up there?
Well, so here's
what he won a New Year's Bowl 3 years ago.
Okay, well, so here's
get over it, Small. That shit doesn't work for you with Ferentz.
Ferentz would coach till he's 97 if he could do that.
He's not anymore. He doesn't have an AD that's going to cover his ass.
Right.
Here's my problem with PJ Fleck.
I think she's good, by the way.
Here's my big problem with PJ Fleck.
Yeah.
He says we're not about team. We're going to take names off the back of the uniform, but we're going to put oars on the uniform, which have nothing to do with Minnesota or Gophers. Literally,
He makes money on it.
he's putting his own fucking brand all over the uniforms while saying it's not about an individual, it's about a team. Well, he's putting his own brand all over the row the boat. As the Gophers aren't in boats. Gophers aren't even in water. Like literally, he is putting his own brand all over uniforms while saying, take the names off. We're all about team. We're all about team. But I'm going to put row the boat all over the. First of all, row the boat, which precedes his time in Minnesota. He's so ego driven. It is so man, this is Minnesota. We're used to people like Latrell Sprewell. We're used to people like Randy Moss that are ego driven. PJ Fleck is the worst.
Press conferences last year, ego driven.
Oh,
you must.
You know what I love the most about this
he's
is
not,
that Tim is now having to defend Kirk Ferentz in this.
I know.
I know.
Too.
This is the
See,
best
that's
part
what I
of
did
this
too. I
entire-
don't like Iowa football, and this
Kirk
MF right here,
Ferentz
who's
isn't-
an Iowa fan, makes me defend Kirk Ferentz. Like, why do you make me do this?
Kirk Ferentz isn't putting a trademarked logo on a jersey and making money off of that shit. PJ Fleck is a
I
piece
know
of
what
shit.
Smoole's gonna say. He's gonna say no, but he pays his son $1 million a year to walk out that offense. So aren't you?
Well, no,
There it is.
that's
See, we have this. Hey, come check out our show now on 3 Years Media. We talk about this all the time. We have the same damn fight all the time. Smool is a Hawkeye fan. I'm an Iowa State fan. I defend Kirk Ferentz every day on our show when we have it about this.
I'm an Iowa State.
He hates him so much.
I own zero Iowa gear.
Teddy, on the eve of the Iowa Minnesota the Floyd of Rosedale game.
Yeah.
Bring me on, because I will be probably the biggest freaking Ferentz defender. I used to be
it's your company. You tell us when you're coming on.
Yeah. I used to be a Gopher season ticket holder. Believe it or not.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So hey, believe it or not, last time I saw Iowa Minnesota play, I watched the Iowa carry the goalposts out of the mini dome.
Yeah.
On the field, Brad Banks' year, that was nuts. As my junior in high school, I'm like, oh my God, this is great. Iowa football is fantastic.
No,
that was the year they tried to carry him out the doors and couldn't get him out the doors.
They got out the doors.
They got him stuck first, though.
They did. It was right by my face. I'm like, this is awesome.
I was at the Iowa Minnesota game where 2 Iowa fans got it on in the bathroom of the Metrodome. So
I was at that game as well. Yep.
Oh.
So anyway, to bring this back around, the podcast is about again.
Our podcast, it really is about sports gambling. It truly is. So we've been doing it for a couple years now, and it started as just us being buddies, and our true, like he said, we are degenerates. Through and through, we know it. The difference is that I talk about it a lot, and I talk from the true, just degenerate, like casual side. Justin truly is a pro on it. I mean, he's placed very high in the pick 5, and I mean, what place did you finish in the pick 5 3 years ago?
Yeah, 13th overall.
Paid a nice little scratch at about, and how many people were in it?
Oh, about 4,000.
Jesus,
nice.
Yeah. So Spool truly is the kind of pro on it. He knows everybody from Vegas, all his buddies there too. So we have kind of like a nice little rat-a-tat about how we argue on why I'm right and he's wrong, and then he usually is right. But that's what it is. So like, it's a fun podcast about us talking about sports gambling, and nobody watches more NFL in the world than me, and Spoon will tell you that. That's what it is. That's what pisses me off. But we love the NFL more than college. It is our it's our appetizer before the main course, because college is random. The spreads are crazy. In the NFL, you got to know what you're doing, and we really do. We know the rosters inside and out, the 2 deeps, the whole thing through. So as much as we make jokes about it and that stuff too, we really do follow it. So when we talk, we tell you why we make the picks we do. It's not out of nowhere. We really do talk about it. I kind of lead it in and let the pro talk here about it. I talk a lot. and then Smol tells you why you should do what you should do, and then every once in a while I get right and we disagree, but it's fun, and we try to have fun, and that's why I follow you guys for a long time too. And when we're looking for a new home, it just kind of made sense, and we were very picky. We were like, should we just not? Should we do this again too? But we enjoy doing it.
Yeah. And two, I would add on to it. Like we don't share like most people do this. They share each other's picks so they can have insight. Ted and I don't talk. We don't tell each other who we're picking. No, there will be.
I feel it's probably a competition.
Oh, it's a big ass fucking competition.
Right? Yeah.
Right.
Do you literally have side bets about who's going to win? Because I kind of feel like you should do that. Like, I'll bet you $5 I'll have better picks this week.
The thing with us is we put our picks out there. Most people put their picks like later than they do. We show our records. Like we are here. This is why we're different than most people. We own it. What we do with all our picks, and most people they tell you about their winners. Here's what we did in our good weeks. We wear all of our stuff, and we've had some 60% full season NFL picks. Smol started our podcast 3 years ago, 19-0 in college football. It was the craziest thing in the world. I mean, it'll never happen again.
No, never.
He started 19-0 in college football. It was nuts.
Well, that's why he finishes in the top 20 out of 4,000 people, because he actually
but he's a big MAC guy, so he likes all these Tuesday, Thursday games. He loves the MAC.
Oh, is that what it is? It's all selective
Justin's
picks?
up at 11 o'clock.
Why do you think he's a
Mac
PJ
action.
Flood guy? He's a PJ Flood guy because he knew him from Mangos. He made him a shit ton of money in the MAC back in the day. That's why he's a Flood guy 10 years ago.
That's right. Yep.
He's a weirdo. He loves those Tuesday and Thursday night college games. That's what he lives for.
Yep, I do. It's great.
See,
It's
and I
great.
just watch him just for the sport of it.
No,
Sure.
That's weird, right?
yeah, not small.
No. I actually was looking at the Ohio San Diego State game already this week. Got my MAC game already going. So
You really are a degenerate. So, I'm sort of a teaser of a conversation I want to get into here in a second. But Iowa has very recently legalized sports gambling. I was having a conversation earlier today with someone about like why other conferences aren't getting investigated for gambling, whatever. And I was like, well, because the NCAA in June, literally in June, I don't even know how you would say that. Like they restated what their gambling policies are. Like they reestablished what that's supposed to be. And so literally around the same time frame, Iowa had brought in gambling. And so they're probably the newest state to bring in sports gambling in the state, coinciding with the NCAA reestablishing their policy on gambling. Like up here in Minnesota, we can't gamble on sports. We don't have it. So you're probably not going to see the Gophers under also, what are they going to bet on? And that college basketball is going to win 2 games a season. Like they're not going to bet on that.
I don't know. These two might bet on that.
But the reality is like, what has, I guess, Iowa legalizing sports gambling meant for you guys as you have gone through this process?
Smol, why don't you talk first? Because I got a lot to say on that.
But I mean, no,
Yeah.
it's great. Like, I mean, first and foremost, I highly recommend. Like, you don't have to do it crazy, right? Just do it recreational. Just do it for fun. But go get all the.
Always do it for fun. Never bet something. That's what it is. Always make it fun. If you're betting more than you can handle, don't do that. That's a problem. So
get there's multiple apps you can grab and stuff, and they always, especially this time of year for football because it's so popular, they give you a bunch of nice like sign up bonuses and stuff like that to take advantage of. So, you can just deposit $50, and some places might give you
on some app, maybe someday soon. We don't have anything to talk about yet.
Right.
No app yet. Idiots.
Don't hold your breath.
Well, no, it's. I mean, you bring it up like not doing something. So I have so Chris and I have a mutual friend in Bill, who is a poker player with me, and have a large group of degenerate fans, but like every year, a couple buddies and I always take off the first Thursday and Friday of NCAA basketball tournament so we can go watch the games. And we're not really betting, except for my friend Dave, who always has like the weirdest ass prop bets. It's always like the third guy to tuck in his jersey after 5 minutes into the game type of like those type of stupid prop bets where it almost becomes like
Justin Small, that's what he does.
okay, so hey,
Small.
Maybe that's the question, Justin. What are the weird prop bets you've done?
Oh my god!
Gosh, I don't. Oh man, let me think.
For a guy who just said keep it simple, tell me about the dumbest things you've done.
I know one of them. If he forgets,
okay,
go ahead. Tell me.
He bet one year, it's like 4 or 5 years ago, the first weekend of March Madness, that all the scores combined would be odd.
Oh yeah.
on only the East bracket.
Okay.
And the amount he bet wasn't fun.
So
it was not a like, oh, that's a cool bet. No, it was like why did you bet that amount of money on this bet? And then it freaking hit. Too.
Well, I'd say at least it's odd or even. It's not like he said prime number or like divisible by 6 or something like that, right?
Oh,
like at least he went odd or even.
Also, who's taking that bet?
He gets so gross. It's so gross. It's so gross.
Yeah,
who's taking that bet? That's what I want to know.
Oh well, when I used to live in Vegas, you can go find
okay.
You can go find a bunch of stuff out there. Any prop you want, they'll have it. But oh gosh, I'll try to think. I mean, I've bet on some stupid sports before. I don't do that anymore, but like cricket. And I don't even know rules.
Justin, you're telling me during the pandemic when everything was shut down, you were betting on Japanese baseball and Korean.
I bet on sumo wrestling.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I bet $50 for the Washington Generals to beat the Harlem Globetrotters because they were due.
They were so due.
Yeah, I mean, you had nothing else to do.
That's great.
So,
that's funny.
No,
so let me.
It's college NFL. They take precedent this time. I mean, this is my favorite time of the year by far.
And that's what we tell people. They go, it's sticking in into a haystack when you're trying to bet. It really is for like the NBA through the whole year. Anybody who wants to do the whole year gambling podcast and that, like, I'm sorry, it's tough. Who's playing? When is it? Same thing with basketball. March Madness is fun to do, but it's random. Football is 1 week. You plan. You game plan. There's lots of data to come in, and that's where Justin Small is really good at this too. He's got guys that he knows in Vegas and guys he knows in Detroit that he won't tell about that don't exist if you ask him. They exist, and he's got all this data he uses too. So that's why our thing is fun to come talk to us. I'm the nobody talking about. I watch all the games and I tell you what I think, and then Small tells you what you're supposed to know.
So.
And we disagree a lot, especially in the NFL. We disagree a lot, and that's we never share it before then. But we do one thing this year: you have to get in the pick 5. It's $1,000 to enter. We did it for this show, sponsored by the Three Beers Media, Old Man Strength. We entered our team in there with this for the season. So we're gonna pick 5 games for the NFL for Three Beers Media. That's our team name, I think. There and let's see if we win.
So Justin, which
because Tim's unemployed, he needs money.
Yeah, exactly.
I was out there last week and I signed up. So I signed up for quite a few different contests. In fact.
Okay, so which mafia families are you tight with?
No. But we're in the circa millions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Vegas. So yep, that'll be what we talk about a lot come the NFL. It's NFL only. The lines come out Thursday afternoons. And so then we'll have to get our picks in, by Friday night or Saturday morning. And so that'll be what.
So we actually have to agree on some games, which is weird because we usually don't.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun to do it. I mean, there's no better rush in this contest to have to be in the money coming down to the final couple of weeks of the season. You talk about the ultimate sweat. I mean, first and second place are over $1 million. So
Yeah.
it's no money to sleaze at.
Yeah, I was last November. I was in the Win at the sports book at the Win when the Vikings got that safety against the Bills, right, and the entire sports book exploded.
Yeah,
because you don't see an entire bet shift as quickly as that one play did, right? Like you talk about, like, NBA is fun. NBA is prime for prop bets, right? It's prime for
it is. Yeah, it
guy
really is.
scores XYZ points, gets XYZ rebound. Like those, spreads in the NBA don't really mean a whole lot of thing. Over under in the NBA don't really mean a whole lot of thing. The NFL, it's on the line. Like one field goal can mean the difference between everything. And hearing the Win explode when they got that safety against the Bills last year was one of the most electric things I've ever been a part of, right there. And then, wearing a Minnesota hat or whatever, and went out to a couple bars after, and got a lot of high fives from people who just made a lot of money off of that stupid dumb luck that happened. But the NFL does certainly have it's king when it comes to sports betting,
It's
far
king.
and away.
Fact.
Yeah, it's not close.
No.
And to your Vikings case, my knockdown everything bet my mortgage last year was on the Vikings winning the division at plus 270,
Right.
over 9.5 games. I bet the house. So I'm very good at the preseason props. Smule, give me that. I am very good at all these. I listen to all these stupid talking heads, and I say, what does Cowherd think? Do the opposite. That guy's absurd.
I mean, betting on the Vikings, dude. I'm in Minnesota. Betting on the Vikings is already a dumb idea in the first place.
But last year,
Not last year.
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
it just set up right. That they had a good schedule, all set up right. And this year,
Well, NFC Central is like the AL Central, in that
he
they
played a lot
all,
of Tecmo football. He still calls it the Central, not the North.
or the North. I mean, sorry, you know what I mean.
Tecmo football, baby. I love that.
Yeah. No, that's because I'm old. No,
Me too.
no. The point is that, like, it's all about, yeah, they're all also going to be in the mix. You look at the Twins right now; they would be fourth place in literally every single division in the MLB. But the league.
That's my point with Iowa football. You want to talk about, like,
that's
division?
that was good. Full circle.
That's my point with PJ Fleck.
Well, I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that.
Like, if PJ Fleck and Kirk Ferentz had to play Wisconsin and Ohio State and Michigan State every single year,
They did Twins.
yes, exactly, they would be. They'd be the Cleveland or they're not even what are they? The Cleveland
Guardians now.
Guardians, yeah.
Guardians, yeah.
Yeah. That's funny. That's awesome.
While we're on baseball, how about Ohtani just not stopping and playing? Is that a $200 million injury? Maybe $300
Gotta
million injury?
Didn't he have Tommy John surgery in 2018?
He did.
Already?
He's already
old.
he's already had Tommy John. It's one of those things where
Oh my God, injury. Oh my God.
well,
And then he had a home run the next night. He had a
Yeah.
home run after he
Yeah.
had it.
yeah, but literally he's one of those guys, and like they've said this for a while. Like, if he did not learn how to slow down, this was going to happen. But he's one of those guys who does not know how to slow down. He does not know how to back off on either thing. He reminds me a lot of Bo Jackson, right? So Bo Jackson was a generational baseball player, a generational football player. He could have gone and done Hall of Fame numbers in either league, and because he didn't pick either league and he got hurt in football and he couldn't ever recover in baseball. I'm not saying he still didn't do amazing things in both,
Sure.
but his overweening desire to be the best in everything and ever whatever did not ever kind of protect himself. And Otani is kind of the same thing where he's going to just put 112% into every single thing to a point where he's sitting there like he knew it was going to happen. Like I heard an interview with his old coach in Japan talking about like he pushes it too far, and he knew he was, but he's still. I mean, that's. I'll go so far to say Otani is the best baseball player of my lifetime.
So,
Wow.
when he comes back, so why, if you're like the Seattle Mariners, for instance, they need a bat really bad,
Mm-hmm.
and they need a closer really bad. So why don't you just give him the $700 million for 10 years and go to the Mariners and don't be a starting pitcher, be the closer, and be DH every day?
I was gonna say, like, do the Joe Mauer thing, right? You can't catch any game anymore. DH for the last 10 years of your career. Like just do that.
DH and close. I mean,
Yeah.
Be the most dominant closer ever and pitch every day,
Right.
and then hit 50 homers.
All you have to do is throw 7 pitches over 90 and like 4 breaking balls that are ridiculous. And that's it versus being a starting pitcher and have to do that for
Small, is this the most baseball we've ever talked in our life? Is it too much?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind talking Otani. He's a freak show.
He is a fucking freak. That's why.
Yeah.
I swear to God, I am not afraid to say that he is the most complete baseball player
Ever.
I mean, we're talking about it. Otherwise, we would not be talking baseball.
Right.
Yeah. No, he literally is. It hasn't been since literally Babe Ruth that there's someone that's both dominant on the mound and dominant.
But a guy that literally can't talk English.
Yeah.
He can't speak English. He can't.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about him. It's incredible.
He is the most complete, and the way that literally a day after he pitches 7 innings, he goes out and hits 2 homers, right? Like,
Yeah.
Do you think though his inability to speak English maybe helps him a little bit in that it tunes out a lot of shit that he would have to listen to and hear?
Yeah. I do.
That's probably fair.
100%.
yeah, I mean, I suppose, but I don't.
I mean, I'm
think-
sure the guy that's translating for him may tell him things or whatever, but if you're not hearing that for yourself and
Every day?
feeling that every day and that pressure,
but
and
but
you're
I
just
don't.
going out and playing,
But I don't think the press has been negative to him as much as they have been to so many other players. I mean, like think about someone like Bryce Harper. Bryce Harper, also generational talent, but he has had the press on his back for every little silly thing. Like even Mike Trout. Mike Trout, one of the best players of my lifetime. Mike Trout, like, by the way, that side note, that organization, it sucks. The most brilliant generational talents of my life, of all of Major League Baseball. So much talent on that organization, and that squad can do jack shit with the most talent possible.
I want everybody to know this will be the most baseball that the Bald Online podcast ever talks. And
Black.
you're
Yes.
saying I should take that little clip of that baseball home run out
yeah,
of
you
your
should. You should.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
we
But you know what I mean? Like literally, there's a lot. There's just a. It's one of those things where like baseball really kind of shows more than anything that you take like the White Sox teams of old, or like the Twins Piranha teams of old. There's a lot more dink and dunk that gets done rather than like having 4 talents that can get things done. Like in basketball, you get 2 or 3 talents and you're going to go somewhere. In baseball, you could have 4 Hall of Famers on your squad,
And you
but
suck.
and you can still suck, because if you only have 1 starter and the other starters suck, you're not going to do anything. You can have 3 really good bats, but if the other 6 bats in your lineup suck, you're not going to do anything. Like baseball is the one that's probably more prone to it. Football is probably prone to it too, but like basketball, you can't get away with having 3 all-stars and be terrible unless you're the Lakers, apparently.
Oh, that's funny.
That is funny. That's a good point.
My dog's named Rondo, so any Lakers joke you ever want to make, it's good with me.
So outside of NFL, what sports do you guys bet on? Golf?
Huge golf bettors, yeah. So I'll brag on Smule a little bit. So golf was our, we've been friends for a long time, but golf was kind of our love language. We became friends again then too. So Smule was a golf pro for 10 plus years, I think.
Yeah, 14.
Yeah, and he came back to Pomona for a bit. I've been a member there for 15 plus years. That's where he's from. But so when people say they know a good golfer, well, there is, and they know Smule. So like his bad day, so his handicap is like +4. What that means, like 4 under par is his average round when he plays.
Oh, I thought that meant like me, where 4 over par was what my average was.
No, it's the other. Better the other way. Per hole.
Tim's is per hole, not
mine is.
So we both love Tiger Woods is our favorite athlete of all time. I think all sports.
Yeah, by far.
And that's the only one we agree on. I love Jordan. He hates Jordan.
Come on. I don't hate. I like to give.
You hate Jordan.
Well, look at
we disagree on everything besides Tiger Woods. That's why our podcast is great. We disagree on everything except Tiger Woods.
Justin, I'll agree with you. Jordan, I don't even want to say he's overrated, but no, I'm not saying he's overrated. I'm just saying he's such a big asshole. I don't want to give him.
Well, sure, but Jordan, Smule loves that part of him. He loves him being an asshole gambler. That's not what he thinks is overrated. He doesn't like his basketball stuff.
Oh, okay. All right. That's fair. Okay. Well, guys, let's go ahead and take a break. We're gonna grab a word from our sponsor at Revelton Distilling, and we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more about the other sports, golf and cricket and Parcheesi that apparently you guys bet on. So we'll go ahead and get into that after a word from our sponsor.
At Revelton Distilling Company, everyone has become a part of the Revelton family. From the Taylors and their daughter who helped perfect their award-winning gins, to the team who installed Lucy, our 33-foot-tall custom-made still, right down to the local farms that provide our coveted corn, and even the cows on those farms who consume our mash byproduct. Want to see the farm to flask come to life? Now you can tour Lucy and find out where we take Iowa's harvest and transform it into our finest spirits. Choose between a 45-minute tour or find out even more by scheduling a VIP behind-the-scenes tour to get the taste of the full Revelton experience. You can visit them at 1400 West Clay Street in Osceola, Iowa, or find all of Revelton's award-winning spirits at any local grocery or spirits retailer.
Welcome back. Teddy has obviously disappeared. That's okay. That's what he does. But thank you very much. Again, please go ahead and check out our friends Rob and Chrissy Taylor at Revelton Distilling down in Osceola at 1400 West Clay Street in Osceola, Iowa. I know that address more than my own. Seriously, go on down. Rob will give you a fantastic tour, tell you all about the distilling process. If there's anything you've ever wanted to know about that, that guy has learned a lot, and it's a lot of fun to learn from him. So anyway, in case you apparently blacked out for the last 45 minutes and don't know what you've been listening to, we are talking to Ted and Justin. So we were talking before the break about all of the other sports that you guys have gambled on. What do you think is the dumbest sport you've gambled on?
Well, sumo wrestling.
Sumo wrestling?
Yeah.
Put your money on it.
You won money on sumo?
I don't know. I did a few matches. It was right when there wasn't anything to do, right? When the world changed a few years ago. So I was at that time I still lived in Vegas right when it started happening. So I was I was bored.
Did you do research or did you just go blind?
Ted, you'll know that if there's an underdog, I'll take an underdog every day, all day. So I just bet underdogs in sumo wrestling.
I was gonna say, is that kind of your advice on sports gambling? Is to just go underdog?
You will pick up on
Um,
that. He loves the double digit, especially on Saturdays.
yeah,
If he sees a 2-touchdown underdog in the SEC, he starts going.
yeah,
Anything with Mac over a touchdown,
yeah.
all
They-
dogs always. If he has 3 favorites, I go, what is going on here? You have 3 favorites in your 5 picks? Because we are pretty picky with our picks.
yeah.
And if Smule doesn't have 80% dogs in his season on his picks, I'd be shocked. He's a dog lover. That's what he does. He bets dogs. He gets the odds with them. He plays a money line pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way I bet the ponies.
Yeah.
I'm always about the long shot. Like I'll still hedge my bet on a favorite, right?
Sure.
But
And-
I'll go long. I'll go long on the long shots because
But the beauty of the NFL is, or the sports, like the favorites can win, but not cover.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
That's the beauty of it.
If
Yeah,
there's a double-digit dog in the NFL, there is a 100% chance Smule is taking the dog.
There,
Yeah, like, one of my favorites
100% chance. And
Yeah, one of
last
my
year, for
favorites
some
for
reason,
week
last
two.
year, first time forever, there was like 2 touchdown favorites in the NFL every week. That's never happened ever. It was weird.
well, no. So
And they never covered. They didn't. It's Smule won every fucking week.
so last weekend my dad was up visiting from central Iowa, and he picked up local newspaper, and one of the local sports writer was talking about overrated running backs in the NFL, and he mentioned Brees Hall, and he asked me about this guy, and I looked this guy up, and last year, like his picks, he had like 14 wins, but against the spread, he only had like 4 wins.
Yeah, there you go.
Right? Like straight up, he would have been fine, but against the spread, he was terrible because he didn't understand all
Correct.
those. Yeah,
Right. I mean, there's I get more into it in the pod, but like how I look at games, especially so if there's a week in the NFL, for example, like when I start seeing like 6 and 7 point lines, so the general public loves to bet teasers and they'll bet them down to pick'ems or 1 point favorites. Well, let's just say if the Eagles, Chiefs, Cowboys, and Packers are all 6 and 7 point, I promise you,
What do we say?
Um,
We say Vegas builds casinos on teasers.
yes.
Yeah.
I promise you one of those teams is losing outright. Because
right.
if it's that easy to do it, everybody will go bet $500 on that teaser. It doesn't happen. They do not give it to you like that. It doesn't work that way.
We call it we call it stinky line. So when you see that 5.5, that's a stinky line for a reason, and that means you can get it as a 6 on a 5.5 is always stinky. Was it 4.5? No, 3.5 for the. All those teasers are gross.
Yeah.
And Vegas builds their casinos on these things too. So it stinks 5.5. If it stinks, don't bet it.
Yeah.
It stinks,
Well, and
but-
not to get political, but like that's why I always never understood why like Trump bankrupt a casino, because literally the house should always win on shit like that. Like, how is the house not always winning on shit like that? Like, if you can't make the house win in Vegas, I mean, I know he was in Atlantic City, but like how do you not do that? Because that feels like that's candy for people to go after, right?
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, in terms of those games, 100%. Yeah.
So I'm going to ask a novice question because I don't do a lot of sports gambling. I just started probably the last few years when they made it legal,
Yeah.
and it might be $5-10 on a 3-leg parlay because I'm a sucker.
Stay there. Stay there.
Okay,
Yeah.
but what is it? Explain to me what a teaser line is.
Okay. So when you have, you're essentially buying points, and you do it through like key numbers. So in the NFL, the biggest key number is 3. There's a ton of games in the NFL that will land 3 over the course of the season. So people, when you see like a 6-point line, they have a 6-point teaser. So you can tease that 6-point favorite down to a pick 'em, down to 0.
Okay.
All they got-
No, to a 3-point dog with 6 points.
Well, I'm saying if they were a 6-point favorite. If they were
Yeah. You said 3. Yeah. So if they're 6-point favorite, they're a pick 'em.
yeah.
3-point favorite, 3-point dog. Yeah.
And so when the like general public sees that, it's like, oh well, that's an easy bet, right? They just got to win the game, right? That's always the notion, is that, oh well, this 6-point favorite can win the game. Well, it just doesn't work that way, unfortunately. Like, and for no other reason that it doesn't make sense is why that dog will win the game.
Yep.
Because everybody, when especially you'll see it. Well, there's examples already that in week 1, but
And we say it 5.5 line that stinks out loud. It stinks, right? That means Vegas gonna make a shit ton of money on that teaser.
yeah,
Okay.
and it doesn't always work, right? I mean, there's examples, there's times when it doesn't, but yeah, for the most part, I mean, don't be running to tease all these 6 and 7 pointers down just to win the game outright, because it doesn't happen. They don't give it to you like that. They don't. Even if it's the Eagles, the Chiefs, and all the big teams.
So Smule likes to teaser the other way because you don't have to go that way. You can take those 6-point dogs and make them 12-point dogs, all those too, and that's where you'll learn. Smule lives with. He loves his 10-point dogs, these 16-point dogs, and 24-point dogs. He loves those teasers the other way.
Yep.
So,
I mean, dogs don't. You don't got to win the game.
Nope.
That's the beauty of the underdog.
So what's your favorite hedge strategy?
Oh, we disagree very much on this. Go ahead.
Hedge. Anymore. I've stayed away from the futures. I don't play. Ted probably plays it more than I do, actually.
He meant hedging, like if you have a big parlay in there.
Yeah.
How do you hedge?
To do that? Well, it depends. I mean, if you're betting that,
Bull don't hedge. You don't hedge.
I mean,
he's 6'2". He's too stubborn. I hedge.
For the most part, you don't. But if you do, you gotta, factor in your bet, whatever size that is, right, and just make it so that you've got a profit either way on the outcome. So that's just the simple way to do it.
But
if you have something going for like $5,000 and your bet was $50, well, you better throw at least like 1,000 the other way.
That's where you do it. Yeah.
Okay. So other end of that though, do you ever do early season long bets?
Win totals. Yeah, I'm a huge win totals. Yeah. I actually entered in a contest out there this weekend. First time I ever entered into it. I got into the Westgate. You had to pick every NFL over under for win totals.
I love that.
Wow.
Yeah, it was awesome. I don't know, first time doing it. It's great. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Smule will tell you the one thing better I am at that than maybe him is I love the preseason shit on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have $7.50 in my account.
Put those on the Atlanta Falcons to win the division. The Atlanta Falcons over Atlanta Falcons win the division, and Falcons win the playoffs. Those are all three good bets.
I actually agree with that. We've never talked about that.
So I'm making a bet live right now.
Atlanta Falcons. Yep.
Okay.
Everybody loves the Saints because they got Derek Carr. The dude has never won a playoff game ever in his career. It's 10 years in, and he's
I think
Saints.
Ritter.
Get out of here. Art Smith's a fantastic coach. You put Bijan Robinson in that running game with Algier and Smith, and they're gonna run. They might have three backs run for 1,000 yards. The first
Ritter's underrated.
You think they're gonna have three backs run for 1,000 yards?
It's possible.
In today's NFL, you think they're gonna have three backs run?
Art Smith might do it, dude. Yeah. He might be the guy.
I'm betting $7.
No, it's not gonna happen. You get it. It's not.
I was gonna say I'll bet.
No, it's not gonna happen.
I'll bet $25. That's not gonna happen.
No, it's not gonna happen.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I do want to shift a little bit. So obviously you talked about NFL as king, and we talked about betting, and Chris is betting live on air right now.
I bet $7 on the Atlanta Falcons to win the division.
Let's go,
baby.
There you go. All right. I'll be $22 richer here at the end of the year.
What? Chris, what did you bet on the Bears to win 3 games over under?
You know what?
I think their numbers like 7.5, right? Yeah,
it's 7.5, and they were minus 800 at 7.5.
Well, again, they're in the NFC North, so they only have to pass the Lions and a Packers team that has like 3 players on it.
Yeah, you don't want that bet, Chris.
No, I don't bet on Chicago. They break my heart too much.
If there's an entire division that could have combined 3 wins,
I know you don't want to hear it, but the Packers 7.5 over under their over is a great bet.
Really? Really?
I think
Hanging
Jordan
up
Love is
right now.
sneaky pretty. I think
I'm
Jordan
hanging
Love
up.
is
I'm
pretty good.
picking
I
Teddy right off the-
love Packers over 7.5.
I think
that's it. You're gone. I'm removing you from the entire.
no,
I know you don't want to hear it.
no.
don't-
I
I
love
swear
the
to God.
Packers over
I
7.5.
think-
swear
I-
to God, if the Packers luck in and fall ass backwards into another good quarterback, I will not be able to live with myself.
Packers plus 370 for the division is a nice little bet for your $10 too to pay you $37.
I think
Hating
Jordan.
right
Love,
now,
I think
absolutely.
Jordan Love is a great quarterback. I just don't know how many targets he
Isn't that a
has.
great quarterback? But it doesn't have to be. I think that defense is still kind of loaded. I think Aaron Rodgers is kind of too much of the face. He's got Bakhtiari at left tackle. You have both those backs still that turn around and hand it off to. He doesn't have to be a hero. Rodgers played a lot of hero ball. You got those young receivers that are pretty good.
I say they're young though. They're young receivers. That's my problem.
That's fine. You got 2 young tight ends too, which is fine. That defense is old. That defense is old and really solid. I think they're a really nice bet at plus 370 to win the division.
All right, so tell
Nice
me about
bet.
tell me about my Vikings. Break down my Vikings.
Your Vikings won, I think, 9 games last year on the one possession fumble, one or the other, whatever it was.
Yep.
That
They're
doesn't
my-
work in your favor year 2.
Small. I took them last year to be. They were my preseason hammer last year. I won so much effing money on them. I
Yep.
won so much money on the Jaguars at plus 760 to win the division last year. That was my other hammer. Last year, I made Smule come on with me. He did too. We made money on the Jags last year.
Yep.
They're the nobodies to win the division. Your Vikings are going to make the playoffs, but they're not going to win the division.
Well, I mean, I
So it's
feel like that.
every other year.
I was gonna say, I feel like that's a really easy bet because that might as well be like the Twins are going to make the playoffs and not get
Only
out in the
because
first
of the
round.
divisions you're
That's a
playing.
very safe. That might as well be like the sun will come up tomorrow. That was a
I don't think
very
They're
easy
not
bet.
going to win the division because the Packers are in the division. That's why.
I don't think they make the playoffs.
Oh, really?
No, I think just what we've seen, and we talk about it like the NFL has there's at least 4 teams every year that are new that don't make. It's hard to fathom, but
Well, then tell me about the
but I think the Vikings fit the mold and miss.
the Ravens, Bengals, Browns.
Steelers.
No,
Steelers.
I thought we were talking about football teams.
We are. Ooh.
That's division in football.
What about the North? Who's making it? I don't think only 2 are. Who?
You want to know who my pick is for that
Oh,
division?
I kind of do because I got my 2 bets. I want to hear
yeah,
yours.
yeah. Let's hear it.
I've already made mine. Who you got?
Cleveland Browns winning that division.
You are so full of shit. They are finishing last spot. They are finishing 4th.
No,
Deshaun is junk. See, you guys got to tune in the podcast for this stuff too. We fight. We never agree. We never agree, and we
this
have.
guy's Burrow. He's picking the Bengals. I already know that.
You know I love Burrow, man. He's
I
my
know.
guy.
I think the
I told you
Bengals.
last. You're tuning us
I
right
like
now.
the
The Beng-
Steelers are sneaky.
The,
I like Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, I was
like
gonna
Kenny
say the Bengals are the very safe pick, but I think Pittsburgh actually has a
Yeah.
really good shot of sneaking up, especially because they had a couple down years. I really
I think
think
Kenny Pickett's a dude, by the way.
I
What-
think I
I
do
think
as
they might
well.
do, but the biggest reason, and this is why Tim is right, is they fixed the old line problems this last year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
2 new guards, drafted a couple of linemen too. Like they addressed their problems, and dude, their head coach is there for a reason. They like him. He's never had a losing season in 10 plus years. I mean,
I think-
when they rebuild, they win 8 games. It's nuts.
Well, and they're doing all the small things, right? They're not going after like position players. They're not going after performance. They're learning how to fix the little things.
They traded Claypool for a 2nd round pick, which turned out to be from the Bears. Sorry, Chris.
Yes, I'm aware. I'm aware.
23rd pick in the draft. What a steal. Claypool, he might even be on the roster for the Bears.
Yeah.
Shut up, please.
And the Bears
Now
gave
you're
the 33rd pick in the
now you're
draft.
just being mean.
No, I'm not being mean. I'm telling facts. I love the NFL. I'm like, what are you doing, Bears? I want Fields to be good so bad.
I do too. Let me ask you a question, Teddy, because I know how much of a big Broncos fan you are. How do you separate that from your betting and how do you separate that?
Oh, I do. It's we'll tell you this. I'm not we both separate ourselves from our probably too much. Like we're probably too hard on the teams that we do like.
Yeah.
Gambling the other way. Like I know, except last year I knew. I hedged my mortgage on my house for them to I bet, and then Hackett. I didn't know we have Hackett for head coach to play for a 67-yard game-winning field goal. Whatever, week one. So that happened. No, but look, I mean, already for the Broncos, Hamler retired, heart injury. Tim Patrick, our number one receiver, out for the year again, 2 years in a row. And we just lost Judy today with a hamstring. I mean, last year was a lot of Russ being bad. We lost Javonte, our running back in week 2. Our left tackle Bowles, first team All-Pro the year before, gone too. Like, it was bad. Hackett was a clown.
Yep.
But everybody was hurt.
So did you expect Russ being as bad as he was?
No, I mean, nobody did. I said what mid. I mean, if you go back to our podcast last year, I said the only person who can fix this is Sean Payton. We got to get Sean Payton. I said we got to get Sean
Jarrett
Payton.
Stidham will be the starter.
I'm not going to be shocked by that. And the reason I love
I
the
would agree
Payton
with that.
hire is if he doesn't. Here's the reason I think Smalls may be wrong, and it's not about like no, he might be right. You tell me that the reason he might be wrong. There's so much money invested, and look, they got Walmart money now. It's Walmart. So every time I go to Walmart now, I go, oh, I hate going there, but this helps me get a new free agent. So I can spend my money there for the Broncos. That's what I tell myself anymore. And
that's funny.
Sean Payton made Drew Brees from age 35 to 41 a serviceable quarterback. He wasn't anymore. And Small tell you that he wasn't. He could not. Drew Brees was a stud for 10 years in the NFL. His last 5 years, Sean Payton made him that offense. He made him what he was. He was done.
Yeah.
So
well, it helps when you have a defense that literally tries to injure quarterbacks, but that's entirely everything.
Well, that's another conversation. That's a whole nother conversation.
Bounty gate. Yeah. Anyway,
but I do think if you're gonna get something out of Russ, it's gonna be in the first 6 weeks. And if Russ doesn't show it, Sean Payton will bench his ass.
Gone. It's gonna be
so last year he had his own quarterback coaches, his own people for his like Russ, whatever he thought he wanted to have in there. Sean Payton's like, you're done. They're gone. They're out. So I have one a buddy of ours, good buddy. I graduated from high school, Dan Ambrose. He's out there. He lives in Denver, and he's like, yeah, those guys are gone. And Russ is committed or he's not. Do you want to be a football player or not? We're gonna find out. So,
where do you think Trey Lance is gonna end up?
I hope Denver.
Your local fast food restaurant.
Oh wow!
I think
he called this shit when Brock Purdy was drafted. He goes, I guarantee you, he starts for the Niners. He goes, he went to Shanahan. That's a perfect place for him, and he's not the biggest Iowa State fan ever.
Yeah,
I am.
I would like to point out
bullshit. No, we're in a dynasty.
I tweeted that
dynasty draft. And he took him.
So
yeah,
did I.
No,
I did too.
No,
and I tweeted it out that he would make the roster and be starting by mid-year.
Well,
I've seen those Twitter fights. You're owed some cheeseburgers.
Yeah, he's
That's right, man. I held those fucking receipts.
I hate to give Chris credit, but he actually did that. No, I didn't think Brock was going to do that. I have always just thought and Trey Lance is a Minnesota kid, right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he is a Minnesota kid, but I have always thought that the 49ers trading up to get Trey Lance in the third pick was the dumbest decision they could have done. He was an unproven quarterback at the time. Since he's been in the league longer than Brock and has.
So
could have had Justin Fields.
If you listen to as much football, like in all the talking heads, like I do too. So Chris Sims and Shanahan, they were college roommates, so like best friends.
Yep.
And Shanahan wanted Mac Jones really bad at 12. That's what he wanted. That was his guy. And then Lynch and management gotten in his way. They traded 3 first-round picks to move up to 3.
Yeah. It was the most
for a kid who started 1 year at North Dakota State. Then COVID happened and played one half of one game, I think.
Yeah, it was the most ridiculous draft. I thought that was the most ridiculous draft. And I feel like John Lynch swallowed his pride after and listened to Mike Shanahan after that. After the fact,
Kyle Shanahan.
Kyle Shanahan.
Mike built statues in Denver.
Sorry, Kyle Shanahan. I feel like what they learned was that
Kyle knows what he's talking about. Shut up and watch me make Brock Purdy our guy. See, I don't need this. I could have had Jimmy do this. Let it go. And that's what it was.
Well, and and that's the thing is everyone says that Brock is a system quarterback, but the problem is that Jimmy and Trey were also in the exact same system and they weren't producing.
Yes, I say this all the time. It
Right?
drives me nuts. Purdy, you know why Purdy gets slighted? It's because of where he's picked. And in this day and age in the NFL, everyone thinks because you're a first round draft pick, especially if you're a quarterback, that you mean something. Most of these guys absolutely suck. And
Right.
and they just assume that like Mac Jones and Trey Lance and Zach Wilson are going to be good. The fact is they're no good.
No, and
they
Brock,
draft these guys on potential. They don't have reps. You know what Trey Lance needed? He needed the Bears to draft him and play a bunch of reps. He needed reps. He got drafted to the Niners, who were ready to win Super Bowls immediately.
I'll take
well,
Justin.
but also if
That's not fair to him either.
but Trey Lance had the reps and he still didn't put up the stats with the exact same. Like everyone that
What
wants
reps?
to say, everyone wants to
reps?
say
What
like
reps?
oh
What
Brock
reps?
only is only a benefit of his receivers and his running back. Like he's got Christian McCaffrey, he's got everyone. Again, so did everyone else. So did Trey Lance. So did Jimmy Garoppolo. Only one of them actually produced 5 wins in a row. Only one of them actually figured out a way.
8 wins, by the way. 8.
Well, 5 wins in a row though, but yeah, like the dink and dunk. Everyone that wants to say he's only a dink and dunk quarterback. Great. Did that result in wins? Isn't that what you want? Isn't that
Sure.
a guy that can create with his feet when a
But
play
you
breaks
don't give
down?
up 3 picks to move up 9 spots
Yeah.
for something. You could have had Micah Parsons at 12, where you
Yeah.
were sitting at. You could have had Micah Parsons and not moving the
You could have
draft.
waited 5 picks and picked Justin Fields.
I know. Well, here's
That's what
the
I'm
thing.
saying. Like,
Well, I don't care
and
about
that's where
Justin.
You have to answer is that if he wasn't your guy
Yeah.
and you don't give him a chance to play, you have to answer as a GM, right, Swole?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
Well,
you
yeah,
don't move up to take that guy and not get. He has not had a chance to play. This is why I will defend him because
he's horrible. He
he's
lost
not any
me.
good, but he's
He
never
lost
actually
me a
good.
bet I'll never
He's
forget.
not any
I'll
good.
never forget his rookie year. The game at Air, he I bet
I know what
him.
he's gonna say.
I bet him against the Cardinals. I actually remember this because this is how my brain works. It was like week 5 or 6. You can look back at this, and he crossed midfield 9 times and scored 3 points. I never wanted to break a TV so bad in my life. You don't cross the midfield 9 times and score 3 points in the NFL. That's pathetic. I don't
So-
care.
That is
I
bad.
don't care who you are.
Okay. So, Justin, that leads me into my very next question, which I actually think is probably very apropos for what you just said.
Okay.
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yeah, I like Kirk.
Yep, we both.
He's
do.
a starter on my dynasty fantasy team.
Yep.
I like Kirk. He's extremely under. He gets a bad rap.
Yep.
You can win games with
Super
Kirk
Bowl.
Cousins.
You can win a Super Bowl with Kirk Cousins.
Ah,
I'm
that-
telling you right now, the minute they give up on him, Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco will run and sign him in 2 seconds and throw Brock Purdy in the pool if he can get Kirk Cousins. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
He can win a Super Bowl with the right team. He's not the
that
best
dude
quarterback
can't
in the
even
league,
win
but he
on-
can
that-
win
that-
a Super Bowl with him.
But the problem is,
I agree with Ted. Actually, I agree with Ted here.
but the dude can't win on Monday night. The dude can't win on Sunday night. The dude can't win in a high profile in any way, shape,
They
or
won-
form.
Well, the Vikings haven't won in 60 years the same
14.
way. So why is he any different than he was the previous quarterbacks? He's Fran Tarkenton then.
But no. The difference is they actually made it somewhere in the playoffs.
All right.
Like the Vikings actually did something. The Vikings did something in the playoffs with Gus Frerotte, for fuck's sake.
Gus
And-
Frerotte was.
If your name isn't Mahomes, it
Number
really
12.
doesn't
That's right.
matter.
Headbutted himself to an oblivion with Washington. Gave himself a concussion, by the way.
I think
You can win with Cousins. Cousins is a winner. Yes.
Yes, he is. He can be.
Yes.
He's a better version of Derek Carr.
I think
Oh yeah.
I
wait.
think Kirk Cousins is a great fantasy quarterback. I don't think he's an actual.
See,
Actual
that's
quarterback.
where I disagree. I think he's a terrible fantasy quarterback. I think he's a fantastic winning
Oh,
quarterback.
he always puts up amazing stats.
I-
You know,
I think you living there gives you kind of a tunnel vision.
I think so
Okay.
too.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's fine. Thanks,
Who
Justin
would you want to
Fields.
replace him then?
Thanks, Justin Fields.
Who would you want
Tell me about all the things Justin Fields has done, Chris Shipley. He's a terrible fantasy quarterback and a real quarterback at the exact same time.
He's a fantastic. So
He's
me
a
and Smolars-
fantastic. Well, hold on.
We're in the
That
same
kid-
dynasty league. Me and Smolar. I have Fields, and he has Cousins in a dynasty league.
Brock Purdy put up the same stats at quarterback last year in half the games as Justin Fields. Justin Fields is not either a good
Justin
fantasy
Fields had no
or
defense and was playing from behind.
But-
That kid won
cool.
every game that they on his shoulders.
Cool,
That
exactly.
kid-
and my
that kid pulled every-
point is, from a fantasy standpoint, he has not put up the stats that Brock Purdy did in half the
Got me in
season.
the playoffs. In my
And
dynasty
if for
league.
a real team, he's also not put up the stats to do anything. So
Yeah,
your
well,
team was
let's do
terrible,
this shit.
and his fantasy points were terrible.
I'll make you-
I'm
I'll
saying
make
he
you a bet.
sucks.
I'll make you a bet right now they finish better than the Vikings.
We
Okay,
have to
I
have.
will. I will
league
take
with
that
this,
bet.
With this company. If we don't have a fantasy football league in this company, I'm going to fight.
Oh, we
Oh,
do.
we do.
We're waiting for you
We
two
do.
to sign
have
up.
to have one.
We do.
I'm waiting
We
for
do.
you two to sign up.
We do. Yeah.
I'll send you the link.
In.
Yeah.
In.
Anyway,
I got 2
yes.
spots left.
I will take that bet. If the Bears beat the Vikings this year, and I'm not high in the Vikings, they haven't figured out their running back situation. They're betting all of their entire season on Justin Jefferson, who I again think is a top 5 receiver in the league.
Oh, easy. Yeah.
Justin Jefferson is amazing. Yeah,
I
as much
love
as
KJ Osborne. He's my favorite 11. You can give him 11th or 12th round.
Yeah.
Osborne. Is it KJ Osborne? It's KJ, right?
KJ,
KJ.
yeah. And
11th round. He's going to catch 50 balls this year.
I like
Well,
it. I like
and-
Addison out of USC. They drafted him. He's gonna be good.
yeah, and as much as I love to hate on Kirk Cousins, I do think he is a very serviceable quarterback. I think my biggest problem is the
above
games, the games we needed him to perform the most, he performed the least. That is my problem with him.
That's every quarterback if you're not Tom Brady, though.
or Mahomes. It is.
I don't.
Sounds just like the guy.
Look
Or
at
Joe Burrow, because that
Allen.
guy's a effing dude and Smool's wrong.
Let's say
Joe Burrow's my guy. and
I say
Smool's
Joe
got
Joe Burrow.
squad.
I'm all in. I'm all in on Joe Burrow. I will.
Me too.
I like Burrow. I like Burrow. Deshaun Watson's going to win that division.
You're so full of shit. That dude
the-
is finishing 4th place in the division this year.
Okay, so here's my question. You don't like Cousins. That's fine. Okay, so be it.
Yep.
Okay, so there's 2 guys that get a lot of love in this league, and I can't stand either one of them.
I know
Talent-wise,
both.
Herbert and Josh Allen.
Oh no, I would agree.
I
I
was
think
just gonna
no.
bring
I
up
like
Josh
Josh Allen. Herbert is
I
the
was
most
just gonna-
overrated quarterback in the history of football.
I've
Oh
never
my god!
I've never understood the love for Josh for Herbert. I would
What's
agree
he
with that.
Josh Allen
Josh,
was leading turnovers last year. He's horrible.
I mean, Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen's one of those guys who has had like really good receivers who have made him look better. I think he's been in a system that has made him look better. I think also just the hype has made him people want to believe he's better. But Herbert, I would believe Justin Herbert. I do not get the
500
love for him.
quarterback.
I do not get the love for him.
Stupid.
It's
He's a great fantasy quarterback.
Is he?
he
No,
he-
you're gonna draft today.
He's never finished top 5 in a season.
No, but no, not
So why
not
is
in
he great?
fantasy, right? No, not in fantasy. He hasn't. But he's
He
still.
hasn't won a
top 10.
playoff
He's top
game.
10.
He's only been in the playoffs once. He's the most overrated piece of crap ever. The Chargers,
Okay,
Chargers,
we
throw him away.
need to take a break because now we're getting off the rails.
no, I
Chargers
I love-
trash
I-
on my-
hate the
on
Chargers.
podcast. I can't believe it.
love this. Okay.
See, now I just think that's a little bit of Charger bias. That's I think is what.
No, I hate
Yeah.
Herbert.
Justin Herbert in a Broncos jersey. Teddy Holly's getting boned. I
Oh,
guarantee you.
we
I
might,
don't-
we
I don't
might
wanna-
buy him one.
Teddy,
I
I,
don't-
once called my buddy when we got Jay Cutler, and my friend's like, I'm telling you right now, 2 games in, you will hate that fucking guy.
I cried.
It took
when
me a
lost him.
half.
I
It took me
cried
a
when
half.
lost him. Yeah.
Bears
He threw
legend
3
Jake Cutler.
interceptions against the Packers opening night, and I hated him instantly.
Jay Cutler is the best quarterback you've had since ever.
Oh, I'm aware.
Oh yeah.
I'm aware.
I was gonna say, as much as you hate him, Chris.
In the history of the Bears, he's your best quarterback.
Nothing makes me nostalgic for Jay Cutler like a couple Jimmy Clausen starts. On the
Yeah.
field.
Oh my god.
Jimmy Klotz.
Not bad. That's
Oh.
good.
That's
Notre-
okay. Well, so
Have they ever
That's-
produced a good quarterback at Notre Dame?
You,
No, they haven't. No, Sean Roberts, they haven't.
yeah,
Notre Dame is a hey. The Fighting Notre Dames. We don't talk about it.
Fucking overrated. Okay, anyway, as Chris did say, we do need to grab a break so we can hear from our sponsor, Kyle Lehman at Wintrust Mortgage. But we have a special question from Kyle Lehman at Wintrust Mortgage. So, Chris, go ahead and ask these gentlemen this question.
Okay, I think Teddy's already answered this question, so we'll ask Justin. We'll get your answer after the break. Justin, you have a time machine. You can go back 10 years.
Okay.
What advice are you giving Justin Smool in 2013? And we'll get this. We'll get your answer after the break.
Are you in the market for a new house and unsure of the mortgage process? Want to know that you have someone looking out for you? Kyle Lehman from Wintrust Mortgage is a down-to-earth, knowledgeable lender who can be there for you in your corner. He can work with you in any of the 50 states and is just what you need to expand your home search. Kyle will work with you through the entire process with little to no work from you. Take the worry of the mortgage process out of the equation so that you can focus on looking for your dream home. Contact Kyle at www.wintrust.com/Kyle-Lehman or call him at 515-473-0546.
And welcome back, folks. Please go ahead and reach out to Kyle Lehman. As someone who has recently purchased a home, I can't tell you how important it is to have a qualified mortgage lender in your corner. It's very important to have someone who can help you figure out the right decisions to make, not just something that you need to do to get it done, like someone who actually can help advise you. And Kyle is that guy. So please go ahead and check him out. So before that break, we did ask Justin the very important question. You can go back in time to 2013.
Yeah.
And it's not just buy Bitcoin. It's not just bet on Tom Brady, no matter how much you don't want to bet on Tom Brady. The question is 2013. What advice do you get to 2013, Justin?
A couple things I think come out. I mean, first off, like always like bet on yourself, right? Just in life in general, right? Like there's always, people telling you, oh, don't do this, don't do that, right? Just go with your gut instincts, bet on yourself, put it all out there, give yourself the best chance to succeed, and in a large part, good things work out for you. And then kind of along those same lines is like for me back then, probably like patience, right? Have patience. I'm always kind of a go type of person, so I need to always remind myself to kind of sit back a little bit. But yeah, I always say, I think back then, bet on yourself, do it, go for it, live with the results.
No, I think that's great advice. I think believing in yourself is very important. When you do say bet on yourself, though, it does bring up something that I alluded to earlier in this pod. As we have talked about a lot of gambling and a lot of betting, I don't think as a podcast that has an Iowa bias, I don't think we can ignore the state of Iowa sports gambling thing, fiasco, whatever you want to call it, and the quote unquote bet on yourself, because I feel like bet on yourself came up a lot in all of this. So again, Iowa very recently legalized sports gambling, and that's probably why it's been kind of heightened in all of this. Ted, I'll start with you actually. What is your take on the fiasco of college athletes betting on college sports?
Well, I think the state of Iowa got made an example of. I think NCAA went to all these, the state of Iowa chose to do this. This wasn't the NCAA. It came from there. Mm-hmm. So I feel like the NCAA or somebody, they knew the shit was out of control. And they go, where can we go to make a big enough stink, but not, upset the a la carte?
And they went to Clinton Community College first.
That's what I'm saying. but seriously, so they come to Iowa. So you get Big 12 and Big 10 there. And our state, they have nothing better to do with their time, with everything that's gone on here, to do this. But, look, It's going on everywhere.
Yeah.
When you push this stuff, like we are too, like it's happening. It's been going on. Seriously, this has been going on forever. If you don't think that, hey, look, my best person I bet to too is my bookie on the side. Smoothly got him too. They exist all over. It's been happening forever and beyond since the beginning of time. A quarterback has bet $100 to his friend who has a bookie on the side for the Minnesota quarterback since 1982. That's happened forever. It's just now there was a way to bet. I mean, Hunter Decker's average bet was like $7 a bet. That's crazy.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
Yeah, and I appreciate what you said. Like,
So let me finish. So I think that you messed up. You got to pay the consequences. And sadly, the state of Iowa is going to be the guys that are the people that are going to show it for everybody else to let the Auburns and the LSUs and the Alabamas and all these guys give an example on what not to do. Instead of having those guys be the example, it's in Iowa. And that's what I think is bullshit because they could have picked anywhere to do it, but they picked here.
Yeah,
That's why I'm sad for these guys and these kids because it's happening everywhere. So I'm sad for these kids here. You shouldn't have done it, but they're kids.
Yeah. I mean, like, so you mentioned, so the thing that I always thought that was really,
I'm not sure what that is.
What is that?
okay, I don't know what that was. Anyway,
Bush.
one of the things that I've always thought was really, really unique about the state of Iowa is, like, for as small of a state as Iowa is, you do have 2 AAU, 2 Power 5 schools, 2 different conferences. Like, there are very few states in the entire country that have
Minnesota doesn't. Nebraska doesn't. Wisconsin doesn't. Missouri doesn't. Like,
go
around there.
The only one that has not only 2 Power 5 conference schools, 2 different Power 5 conference schools, 2 AAU conference, like 2 AAU schools. You have Iowa is very unique in that for having a population of nothing, that it has that much there that I mean it encompasses everything, and so it's very unique that they key down on that, and I think that's a very
and although it's small, you can't bet on your own team when it becomes.
That's what's up.
So for me, that's where it starts and ends for me is that you cannot. You cannot bet on a game you're playing on.
Yeah,
can't do it.
Right.
So like I want to defend these kids. I'm defend you. You bet on a game you played on. Come on, dude. Like,
all right. So let me.
If these kids are betting on an NBA game or another college football game, they're not playing. I'm like, leave them alone.
But we grew up watching Pete Rose get banned from baseball. We grew up watching Pete Rose, forever banned from ever into the Hall. If there's any player that should be in the Hall of Fame, it's Pete Rose.
Sure.
Charlie Hustle should be in the Hall of Fame. But we all learned and we watched that. And I feel like these kids don't have a Pete Rose to lift up to understand like what the.
And unfortunately, it's going to be 100 Deckers is going to be the rule for all these kids for 30 years. It's going to be
100 Deckers is going to be the Pete Rose.
Iowa State.
So
that's what
we asked. I found it interesting last week because we asked Brent Curvey what his reaction would have been had he been playing. I'll play his clip here, and I'd like to get your guys' reaction.
Let's do it.
Sure. So go ahead. So we lost Marcus for a minute, but go ahead, curveball.
So to think about this, right? I think about, you're talking about 80% of your team is trying to go to the league, right? Nobody's just playing college sports just to be playing. We're trying to literally play at the next level. So to run that back and say, well, the guy who probably has the most impact on the game bet on these games, that would run me hot. Because at the end of
that's what's up. Go ahead.
Sorry, hold on.
About this, right? I think about, you're talking about 80% of your team is trying to go to the league, right? Nobody's just playing college sports just to be playing. We're trying to literally play at the next level. So to run that back and say, well, the guy who probably has the most impact on the game bet on these games, that would run me hot. Because at the end,
I don't know why that's doing that, but his basic point is you're ruining my chance to make the league, regardless of whether or not that's realistic or not.
Yeah.
But that's his mindset. So, and that's why he's right on that statement, though, is that you can't do that. I mean, and
No.
Spool and I disagree on everything we talk about. I think I'll be shocked if he disagrees with me here. I think sports gambling has gotten too much in the way of these college kids since back in the day. But you cannot bet on that, especially the pro guys betting on like over and unders for their running backs and stuff. That's worse.
Right? Yeah.
Like when a kicker is literally betting on the over and under.
That's wild.
Yeah.
You can't have that.
That's the ultimate to me is a kicker betting on the over under because kicks sometimes are inconsequential at the end of games. Like literally that alone. Right.
It really sucks. It became a focus for the state of Iowa for the two schools there to where like literally Hawk and Cyclone fans are like, yeah, this sucks. It's on us right now. And it sucks. It sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, for Iowa State fans, I mean, look, we lost our potential starting quarterback and running back. Would they have been start the year anyway? That's up for debate.
Right.
I would say probably no on both accounts.
I mean, Cole's a better quarterback, right?
I mean,
Brock's a great running back.
I'll take Rocco. I mean, there's all kinds of debates there. Yeah. But the gambling part, what I do feel bad for Deckers about is if he didn't bet in the one game. I know he's a backup quarterback, but his best was it $7 a game?
Yeah, on average.
But
I will tell you this: when we talked to Jordan Bohannon, he brought up a really good point. If these kids are betting on this, you're going to tell me that these referees aren't making bets either?
Oh, you
don't get Small started on that if you want to get going on the deal.
What time do you guys got to go to bed?
Small could have a podcast on he's a conspiracy.
He's right though. He's right.
No, I do think that we need to hold referees to higher standards. I think we need to have press conferences for referees. If we're gonna make 19-year-old kids sit in front of the press,
this is your time to shine.
Yeah, so when I lived in Vegas and I was at this thing,
you and Tim Gunn.
It's a little sports gathering.
You and Tim Donahue.
Yeah, you want a great podcast to listen to? It's the best one out. It's the best one of the best sports podcasts. I'll get it to you. Yeah. It's regarding that's amazing. But Brent Musburger was asked a question about, do you think refs are still involved in games? And his response was 1,000%. He goes, "This is a billions of dollar industry. Whenever you start talking B with billions, it's corrupt to some level." Yeah. It's not that every single ref is out there doing it, but they have the biggest manipulation on the game. Sure. And I watch these things. The NFL, it's not every game's rigged, but when it comes down to the point spread, you better believe it. There's a lot of goofy stuff that happens. Like a team, I'm telling you, team's up 17, and all of a sudden, boom, boom, back-to-back drives late in the fourth, and it's a 3-point game.
There's a weird holding penalty that no one sees.
It's why Small hates the over and unders.
I don't do them. I
love him. He hates them, but that's why he hates them.
Yeah, I mean, no, the 100%, Chris. Back to what you said. Like, yes, refs are involved. I mean, they are held. It drives me nuts when I see these calls and they just walk off the court, and then I flip on the TV the next night and they're at this stupid game, and I just want to go to that game and scream at it. Like, how are you not held accountable for literally being horrible, but yet you get another game and get paid thousands of dollars and you're just ruining that game too?
He sends a text and goes, he goes, this ref
Green, Big Ten basketball,
this game, the Big 12. He goes, bet this way. Small follows the refs. He follows the referees.
Well, no. So I kind of get that. So, my ex-wife is a horse vet, and she used to always tell me don't just bet the horse, bet the trainers and the groomers, but also bet the trainers and groomers that are in each race, because there might be there might be one trainer or groomer that has multiple horses in the same race, and so you have to understand which ones that are really trying to get up there, right? right? So that trainer might have 7 horses in the exact same race, but because the owners are all different, they can all do that. But one trainer might really be trying to push another one towards winning, right?
Yep.
There is still manipulation that is going on in the back end of some of those things.
Oh, refs are involved completely. It's like you won't. It's across all major sports. You won't convince me otherwise. And no one ever will actually. So yeah, it's the games are rigged. They're 100%.
So again, which mafia families were you tied to in Vegas?
No.
And that's why you should follow our podcast, Ball Don't Lie, with the Beard family. We're here. Old man strength. We're just with us all. Just follow our podcast, Ball Don't Lie.
I do agree with
every week. He goes off and referees at least 10 minutes every week.
I feel like Justin and Bill Blank should be best friends.
Here's the problem is that Justin and Bill would be best friends and worst enemies because Justin is way more logical and practical than Bill is.
Right. Bill just wants to line them up and just shoot every one of them.
I say the problem is that Justin and Bill would agree, but Justin would hate Bill for why they agree. Okay, so again, we're gonna wrap things up because we've been running long here. This has been great. We have a special segment on this podcast. We have 2 different guests, so I don't even know how to do the Steph Copley segment here, Chris.
This is my favorite segment.
Do we give? Well, I know because you always lie about the origins of this thing.
I've known Steph Eifler for 30 years, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Steph Copley told Tim to shut the fuck up on a podcast.
That's literally not
and it
how
was
this
so great.
Her name was Steph Eifler in high school. I knew her before it was called.
Okay, so first of all, that's literally not how that happened. You can go back and listen to the episodes.
Yeah, she did. Yeah,
Steph Eifler.
Okay, so anyway, ignore what Chris loves to manufacture as reality because if I were ever to bet against someone, it would be Chris because he manufactures anything. He would be a ref that was lying about the outcome of a game. So anyway, we do have one last segment, sponsored by our friend Steph Copley. It's an STFU segment. I really want Chris to STFU, but this is your opportunity, and we're going to split this up because we want both Teddy, who's already been through this, and Justin, brand new to this. We both want to give you an opportunity to go ahead and say anything you want, uninterrupted, unargued, whatever you could say, whatever. We're going to let you guys say what you have. So after we get this word from Steph Copley, we're going to give you guys an opportunity to talk.
Perfect.
Hey everybody, it's Steph Copley, the woman behind the STFU segment on the Old Man Strength podcast. When I told the guys I wanted to sponsor this segment, they recommended that I make a charitable donation instead, so that's what I did. I chose the Young Women's Resource Center in Des Moines, Iowa. They're a nonprofit that supports, educates, and advocates for girls and young women ages 10 to 24. Their whole goal is to make sure that these young women become strong, self-confident, and successful. And if you know me at all, you know that aligns with my goals as well. If you're interested and would like to donate, check them out at ywrc.org and donate today. And remember, don't forget to STFU and listen every once in a while. Thanks.
So Teddy, I will give you the honors since you are the recurring guest, and then we'll let Justin have the real last word because you have to shut up and listen to him.
Ooh, I like that. So what I'll do with this is that talk about a lot. So gambling, there's lots of gambling out here. So there's all these people in people's heads for gambling for college athletes are doing stuff, businesses and this stuff. So there's lots of people out here for businesses like me too that they promise you things. Maybe they'll come in and promise you to sponsor, let's say your podcast. Let's say our podcast. Maybe would try that, and then they don't fulfill their responsibilities maybe sometimes. And then instead of just doing that, instead they call somebody else that that they maybe sponsor some over there a little bit too, and they're like, hey, if they say something on this podcast tonight, we'll never sponsor you again too. So for all you little people who are little gambling people that think you mess with us that actually matter in this gambling world, don't ever try me. And this is as nice as I'll be ever again. I will use your names the next time. And that's my STFU and listen. Because next time, is that good enough?
No, Teddy, that was great.
You guys all get that there?
That was
Got it.
Sure
You
did.
get that, Small?
Yep, love it.
All right, so Justin, top that.
I can't, but I'll go on a little rant here. So I didn't get to go on one much of. We're gonna go back to Ferentz, and I think this is. I think this is the final year, and I say this for multiple reasons. I mean, he should win the West. He won't because he's a failure. So it won't happen. But with the conference realignment next year, he has zero shot to ever be in the top 5. So if he ever wants the opportunity to ride out on top, which would be second or third place in the Big Ten West, because that's what he does, and that's really good for him, then this would be the year to retire and go out on top in second or third place and let another. And then meanwhile, he'll still have first-round draft picks, and he gets so much credit for it. But, it's like, geez, I just produced first-round draft picks, but I can't win the West. It's amazing. I've never seen it happen in my life. So, just go out on top this year. Bring your little son with you, who's great, averages 11 points a game. It'll be beautiful, and he can go somewhere as well. Maybe Cornell. They're probably looking at some point. Yeah. So anyway, I very much look forward to the season. I hope they lose every single game.
That's awesome. It's so great.
Justin,
that was harsh. He's a Hawkeye fan. He's a Hawkeye fan. He's a Hawk fan.
Justin, that was literally the hardest I've had to suppress shutting the fuck up. That was brilliant. It makes me.
We do have a question.
Yeah, we do have one last
Katie
question.
Would like
here.
to know, real question: Who should I pick as my number 1 pick in fantasy draft so I can beat my husband this year?
God, that's my wife.
I'm gonna guess that it's Kirk Cousins, but maybe I'm wrong.
No, she said beat her husband, not disappoint her husband.
So listen. So she's in a league with Small too. She is for
yeah.
real.
We're in the league together.
Yeah, my wife watches more NFL football than probably besides me and Small here. Probably everybody else. It's nuts. She loves the NFL.
Okay, so
Christian McCaffrey.
She's picking, I think, 4th.
Oh, she's 4th. Okay.
I think you should pick Dave Montgomery, honey.
Justin Jefferson at 4.
You can get him at 4.
Yes.
Talking again.
I just want Katie. What I want you to do is dress Teddy like Kirk's wife does in that documentary. That's what I want. Just start picking out his clothes for him. That would be great.
I was gonna say
flannels.
I got too much swag with my golf gear. You know that.
Yeah,
I know.
So Ted, you and Katie are in the same league?
2 leagues. Yeah, she's
okay.
cutthroat. She holds no mercy, and she screws me over any chance she has. So
I was gonna say, so she has opportunities to give me that trade, or you have to take out the trash for 7 weeks in a row.
Small, tell her she's cutthroat. It's shit.
Yeah.
She's no bullshit.
No.
Good. You deserve it.
I agree.
Basketball.
Go, Coach Wilkin.
No, I love it. Katie, thank you very much. Chris and I promise to do everything we can to sabotage Ted's team to help you succeed this year. We promise. Gentlemen, I cannot thank you both enough. This has been a lot of fun. I swear to God, we could literally do a whole side podcast for like 6 weeks during the football season to just talk about how angry I get about the NFL. I think it would be fantastic. But thank you.
I'm in for that.
Okay,
yeah,
good. Yeah, like literally,
if you have Tim on as a as a
I was gonna
celebrity
say
handicapper.
if you want me on as a
How about
guest-
how about a decompressed Tuesdays?
yes,
That's what we call it.
literally just have me on as a
We should come on
grumpy
and talk
old
about our
man.
misses.
Right?
just old man in Minnesota yells about how much terrible Minnesota football
Oh,
is.
she's still talking to you guys.
Oh my God. She needs her own podcast. is what
She's
she
she does need her own podcast.
needs. She
She,
needs her own podcast.
you guys want a woman to talk about sports?
So I was gonna say literally
That's what we
Katie and
need.
I can have our own like
You should.
we should
Hey,
have
we
our
need,
own
we need a woman's voice on this podcast we're going to have before the Iowa State game.
Yeah,
We'll bring Katie on.
yeah
Sure.
we need to have a ball don't lie reaction podcast where Katie and I just
That's a
listen
good
to
one.
your podcast and then talk shit about you two.
If you don't do that, I will Beer Canale will sponsor that right now. I'll sponsor it.
When do you guys tell everybody when you're gonna broadcast, what your schedule is going to be, and things like that? So,
Yes, please.
So I don't want to say it out loud yet, but we've typically done in the past. We put our previews, our preseason stuff before week 1 of NFL. So we usually let 0 and 1 go by for NCAA. So I think maybe we want to drop the Thursday of NFL kick. Maybe is that like September 14th, whatever that is.
yeah, it's like the 7th.
Yeah, like the
7th, whatever that
Yep.
is.
Seventh.
I'll go and say right now, we'll drop our first pod that morning, give our preseason picks in that week 1 stuff, but that'll give us a couple weeks for the NCAA to talk about that coming weeks, but I'll let Small talk too, but it's what we've usually done. And we're really excited to be here. Thank you guys for having us. It's been a process to get here, but we're excited.
Yeah, we normally do just wait until after. I mean, this week doesn't really count for college football, and then we just we will probably still post picks. We just don't do the pod just because it's only just college football games, and it's just too short. So we'll come live and do it during week 1 of the NFL, and it'll be week 2 of college football.
The difference is this year is you got to listen to us get our picks. We're not gonna we gave all our picks for free before. We're not doing that stuff anymore. We'll give one free one, but you got to come get the stuff here. If you want small stuff and me talk shit, you got to come listen to us.
Yep.
That's
That's
what it is.
right.
And then Katie chiming in, evidently, since she's still talking.
No,
She has a home here all day long. So.
yeah, no, I love it. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us, not only this evening, but for joining us on the Three Beards Media Network. We are very proud to have you guys join us. I'm really looking forward to what you guys have, and I cannot wait to get angry listening to you guys every single week.
I
cannot
be angry.
Oh,
He will make Small likes to make everybody angry. That makes him so happy. And he's against the grain, like you can't believe.
Just wait for my Twitter battles come.
Oh my goodness, he's going to make people so angry. He makes Hawkeye Twitter so angry. And
I
he's a Hawkeye
poke
fan.
more bears.
But he's a Hawkeye fan.
It's beautiful. I love poking
It's
bears.
crazy.
Oh, Justin, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to get super angry that I have to fucking defend Kurt Ferentz.
You did tonight.
On Twitter. Like a man I hate, I have to defend just because you're just being a dick. I think it's great.
It's not
I
fun.
think it's
I haven't even got started.
Well, again, gentlemen, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Listeners, please check out the Ball Don't Lie podcast as it comes on your feeds to the Three Beards Media Network, as well as all the other podcasts we have. We are growing our entire family of podcasts. We have so many things going on. We have a lot of fun things in the works. We have some things. Obviously, a lot of our listeners are Central Iowa, and we certainly care about the Cyhawk game, and we have a lot of things going on. But so many other things as we bring to you so many perspectives from all around the country, actually, about anything from beer to social media to sports to anything. We've got, former lottery picks. We've got so many other people on this podcast network that are telling you a lot of stories about what we have going on. So please go ahead and check all those out. You can find us at threebeardsmedia.com. you can go and find Chris at SideDad if you actually want to interact with him on Twitter. I would recommend not. Yeah, you can go ahead and find me at Tim Johnson MN. Ted, Justin, how can people find you?
Just don't. We're around.
Yeah, just
At Ball Don't Lie Pod 4, I think.
yeah.
Yeah, the rest of it is we try to stay a little chill in the rest of it.
I'm on there. If you want to have a hot debate, I'm always up for it. Justin Small on Twitter.
There you go.
No, I love it. I feel like he's not shy about that. Chris,
Hawkeye Twitter, you will be at him in football season. It's going to be on your titties.
Yep.
The worst part is that he will always bet them when they cover. It's weird. He always gets them when they cover.
What, when they score 14 points instead of 13?
Yep.
Greatest underdog.
All right. So, Chris, anything else I'm missing?
Nope. We are going to be at the We Will Women's Basketball Golf Tournament in September 12th in Ames. So come see us there. And we have a big fundraising launch for the We Will Collective and the Iowa Collective for Women starting next week. So we will drop all that information next week. So
yeah,
big things happening.
Yeah, please go ahead and check out all of our social media for that. And with that, folks, thank you very much for spending time. I am Tim Johnson with Chris Shipley, Ted Hawley, and Justin Small. I feel guilty dragging them into this, but thank you guys, and we will see you guys next time.
Thank you.